Now, occupations are planned in dozens of cities starting on October 1st and culminating on a global day of action on October 15th. To find out more about Occupy Wall Street, I spoke with Vlad T. of the GlobalRevolution.tv team, who have been broadcasting the occupation non-stop live since the very fucking beginning. Hey Vlad, how the fuck are you?
We're good. Very happy.
So, what the fuck is Occupy Wall Street?
It's an attempt to create a public conversation, a public debate about how to resolve the issues that are facing us. And by public conversation, we mean a discussion where everyone's voice gets heard. We're introducing this idea of consensus, or almost consensus, in such a way that we want people to accept certain principles. And the principles we want them to accept are just the principle that we're all equal, and the principle that we're kind of all united by the fact that we're all human, we're all facing the same problem, and by the fact that, and by this idea of mutual respect. And mutual respect is we will listen to each other, try to convince each other, and trust each other to have this, to adhere to these principles, to arrive at consensus decisions, which through refinement of different ideas would actually be amazing decisions. We're talking about a mechanism of creating this mass group thought, which does not stifle individuality, but actually adds up our individuality to create something much bigger than the sum of the parts. So what does that mean in reality? In reality, it means we took that square and we instituted the concept in it of General Assembly, where all the people involved and everybody's welcome. We come to this General Assembly and we vote with consensus on various issues and proposals. For example, the demands we're going to have, and what is the list of those demands is. So what's happening is we're setting up working groups that are focusing on economics, on immigration issues, on labor issues, and so on, so on, so on, and we're inviting everyone to come and join us and help solve this. And then the working groups will come to consensus within the working group on particular proposals, bring those in front of the General Assembly, and then the General Assembly will engage in the debate with the members of the working group about these proposals. And the people who are blocking it are invited to come and join the working groups to resolve the consensus issues, so they can arrive at a new consensus, or the blocks don't count.
Did you ever expect the shit to blow up in the way it did? I mean, this has the momentum of a global insurrection.
I just came from Spain, and when we took this quarter or so in Spain in the end, I mean, it was, the first group was attacked, and it wasn't very big. And the second group was also not more than 300 people, and it was also taken out. But when the third group showed up, we were 50,000. And it wasn't 3 days. Day 1, day 2, and day 3. We took the square on the third day, and we held it for a month without any problems with police. There were just too many of us. So, and at the same time in Spain, 30 cities blew up at the same time. Okay? So, we are seeing something similar happening in the United States right now. The fact that people took Wall Street made everyone suddenly realize that they can take their square. And then they realized that the emperor does not have any clothes on. And that's the beginning of the American Revolution.
There are insurrections planned for a shitload of places starting in October. Any advice for would-be insurrectionists?
I highly suggest to read a manual that the Spaniards have written and finally translated into English that explains how to set up a consensus-based framework for these kinds of occupations. Specifically, if your goal is to come up with brilliant ideas how to evolve the society and have those ideas have the support of this huge body that is operating by consensus. I highly recommend building up a media defense force, which is not necessarily just connections with your local journalists, but ability to put out super high quality media of your insurrection. We've set up Global Revolution TV. We're going to be sending in a tactical media kit, which will consist of laptops, cameras, and broadcast equipment, so people can plug directly into the Global Revolution channel, which at this point has built up a following of about, 200,000 people a day almost, or something like that. People will be able to plug into this channel and serve content directly into the channel by joining the editing collective, which exists in the chat group, which by consensus decides when to air what pieces and when, and that can feed in different live streams and so on. So by building efficient communications tools and giving people ability to edit the channel from anywhere in the world, we're creating basically a global TV network that will instantaneously focus everyone's eyes on a particular occupation, especially if it's in trouble.
Thanks, Vlad.